Hello from Tech Africa News. I'm here together with Matimba Mbungela, Chief Human Resources Officer at the Vodacom Group. Hello, Matimba. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Akim. How are you doing? Pleasure to be with you this morning.
I'm good, thank you. Congratulations on being named Africa's top employer again. What does this recognition mean for Vodacom and its employees?
Well, it's actually quite an honor to be representing the company, and for us to have achieved our top employer ranking in Africa again, second year running. And this really represents the work that we do as a team in Vodacom, insofar as the employee propositions that we have in place, insofar how we grow talent in Vodacom, and actually the brand in terms of how the brand is able to fulfill the dreams of people in Africa, and also living up to our purpose, which is really connecting for the better future. So this really aligns very well with our purpose as a company, in the impact that we want to make in society. So this really an accolade that basically you can call it, a recognition of all the work that we've put through and that we put through in terms of one, being an employer of choice in every market where we operate. But more importantly, making sure that our employees can fulfill their dreams, can live to their purpose, aligned with the company's purpose, and actually can grow as individuals together with their families.
Right, that's quite a bold statement. Very nice. Over 50% of Africa's population are below 30, so 30 years old. So we're a very young continent. How important do you see upskilling, especially the youth, as an essential, let's say, pillar for Africa's digital transformation process?
You know what, Akim, it is for that reason that having this accolade, it's quite pleasing for us because it talks to also the work that we do in terms of our early careers program across the different markets. It also talks to the investment that we make in terms of upskilling our youth. I'll give a very good classical case, which we started with in 2017, which was at the time, it was actually Code Like a Girl. We started with 17 young girls in South Africa, and teaching them basics of coding. Up until last year, we will end up our financial year, which ends in March, with more than 23,000 young people that we have trained and code like a girl. That inspired us to actually even go further and set up this 1 million ambition that we're going to talk about later. We have a variety of investments that we have in upskilling our youth through, now with Code Like a Girl, youth from the age of 14, giving them access to ICT skills. Now with our digital skills hub, actually that now even goes up to the age of 35 young people. So essentially, we want to touch Africa's youth from all the markets we operate. To give you a sense, from, as we call it, from Cape to Cairo, we operate in 8 markets in Africa, and we have an opportunity to impact more than 500 million lives through the population where we operate in Ethiopia, in Egypt, in DRC, in Tanzania, Mozambique, South Africa, Lesotho, Kenya. All these markets are actually markets where we operate, and we actually investing quite heavily in terms of youth development and upskilling our youth.
That's very interesting, and as we can see, you have quite a broad experience throughout your markets in Africa. What would you say, as of today, are still the most critical skills we have to, let's say, improve or empower the youth more and more?
Look, it's quite interesting because if you had asked me this question 5 years ago, I probably not even mention the word AI, right? And now AI is in everybody's lips. So for us, it's really about relevance in terms of skills. 3 or 5 years ago, we're talking about just cloud computing as an example, as one of the most important skills, critical skills in those days. But now today, and we now talk about cybersecurity, we talk about cloud computing, we talk about AI. These are the really fundamental skills, and that's why we're so passionate about making and upskilling our youth. Is because of the fact that we want a young person in Cairo or in Alexandria, in Egypt, or in Bakongo, in the DRC, to have the same access of skills and capabilities of ICT skills which are relevant to a young person in New York, in LA. So it is our ambition to make sure that all the youth that we are able to impact in markets we operate have got access to the same digital skills that a young person has in any other parts of the world. That's why we have gone through to partner with companies like AWS, whom we actually have got a very strong partnership that we have signed up, and actually we've gone live on that. We're even exploring partnerships with the likes of Microsoft, with the likes of SAP, and essentially using the power of connectivity from our side together with some compelling programs that comes from the partners that we're working with. So we really want to make sure that the youth in Africa are not impacted by the digital divide that is already there, and it's really about closing the gap of the digital divide and make sure that they've got the fundamental skills to operate in this world, be it AI, be it cybersecurity, be it cloud computing, and we're able to enable that through our digital skills hub.
So you would say that it's very important now to also use AI as a kind of an accelerator to empower the younger people, and also, just to summarize that, you see also the importance from the private sector, especially in the, let's say, ICT industry, to join movements like your Digital Skills Hub, for example.
Of course. I mean, and hence my earlier point to say that we don't want to leave anyone behind, and true to our purpose, connecting for a better future. What does that mean?
Yeah.
As you talk about AI, we want to make sure that everyone is able to connect for a better future, be able to have the right capabilities. The first is really understanding the basics of AI, because make no mistake, the AI world is growing so fast. But the gate into it is really about first understanding the fundamentals of AI. Understand at least what AI means, as a key skill. So if we can even get that right, to make sure that all the youth in all the markets that operate understand what AI is, then from there it's really gaining the core skills within the AI world. And I think then after that, then be able to actually leverage on the opportunities what AI presents, because there's going to be so much opportunity that comes from this AI world, whereby some of them could end up being entrepreneurs in this AI world. I mean, if you think of language models insofar as relevance in Africa, most of these language models are actually, in Western, based on Western models. Developing language models that are more into the African space is actually one of the unique opportunities that are there, and it's quite important to make sure that we can give access to these youth these opportunities.
Yeah, I fully agree. Can you share how the Digital Skills Hub supports youth, especially those who are limited to access of education or resources even?
Yeah, so here's the opportunity really for us, and that's why we're playing into the space. Is that one, and we've seen it with our Code Like a Girl program. One is that we will play into the physical world insofar as giving the Digital Skills Hub access in-person training. But what we've done now, we've actually created another layer of virtual access, which is zero-rated in our platforms. So one is able to access the Digital Skills Hub without having to have spend any money on their data on data, and that we've got in markets like South Africa, and most of our markets where if it's not zero rated, it will be actually very cheap for people to access. So the important part is that we want to make sure that we eliminate the barrier of cost insofar as accessing the Digital Skills Hub and being able to access these programs, which are very important to build the fundamental key skills that the youth needs.
Yeah. Vodacom aims to equip 1 million young people with digital skills in 3 years. What impact do you envision for Africa's economy and also for the workforce?
You know what? I want to fast forward, Akim, 3 years time, and hopefully we celebrate together at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. We do really strongly believe that this will unlock opportunities for economic growth. And because no economy grows without having the core skills to be able to grow the economy. We do believe this will be a key enabler across the continent, especially markets where it operates, to be able to unlock economic growth through the young people being able to be to have been trained in skills like cybersecurity, cloud computing, these which are fundamental enablers to in terms of them being able to access jobs. But I think very important, being able to be meaningful players in the economy, which includes them being entrepreneurs. So I'm really looking forward to how we're going to be able to unlock the potential of economic growth through this investment that we're making, and hopefully, look. Remember, we've got 1.4 billion people in Africa. It's scratching the surface, but we want to create scale. So hence the ambition to train 1 million young people. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very tough. But, I just want to call out there people who will be able to access this interview to say, go to the Digital Skills Hub in Vodacom. The content and the material is quite compelling. You will learn and also get certification of core fundamental ICT programs. Importantly, is that you don't have to spend a cent in being able to get the skills. And these are all I actually tried it myself. I went to the platform myself, and I encourage you, Akim, to go, because I rather you experience it and see what the skills are. Interestingly, it's not only about the ICT skills that are there. I mean, there's also coaching. There's also career coaching as well. So there is lots of range of programs that are available to give meaningful skills to young people to be able to grow into this world and be able to participate meaningfully in the economy.
I definitely will give it a try. That's for sure.
Please do.
How does being Africa's top employer reflect Vodacom's commitment to empowering employees and especially the youth?
So as a top employer, because the whole program of being a top employer or the certification, it actually doesn't come for that easy, I must say. It's a whole certification process that goes through looking at all your core HR policies, independently audited, and to say, look, you really, first you have to be certified. After certification, then it's really about who's got the best of employee HR policies and employee propositions for the employees. So how does that play itself into? One is that we continue to innovate insofar as our HR policies, insofar as our employee propositions, to make sure that we are amongst the best. And it's really not for certification only. It is about making sure that we are an employer of choice, to make sure that our employees feel fulfilled, to make sure that they can live up to their purpose daily, and to make sure that we actually give them value. Because as an employee, you spend more than 80% of your life in the workplace. How do you make sure that that is meaningful? How do you make sure that that is fulfilling? How do you make sure that you can enjoy and feel that you're making a difference and feel that you're empowered? So for us is that our employees have an opportunity to meaningfully be leaders in society through the opportunity to give them of growing through our talent programs, and also how we actually remunerate our employees. But I think more importantly, it's really helping them living up to their purpose.
So we can say that, empowering the youth internally, like externally, is one of the main pillars in Vodacom's strategy when we look at digital transformation on the continent.
It certainly is. It certainly is. We've got our early careers program that we for internal employees. We also then, as I said, we've got the external facing programs, and all of these actually play together in terms of how do we empower the youth in markets where we operate. And we're quite proud of the fact that we are able to give the youth, a compelling proposition for them to be part of the Vodacom family in all the markets that we operate.
All right, thank you. What message would you share with young Africans considering the Digital Skills Hub to shape their futures?
Join the movement, be part of the Vodacom family, and you will be rewarded with core skills that will actually make a difference in your life.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, Matimba. It was really a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure talking to you, Akim. Thank you very much.
That was Tech Africa News, and you can find more on techafricanews.com.